Why will Formula One FIA try to clamp down on celebrations of teams jumping on barbed wires? If they fall, is their fall or your fall? Trying to understand. These guys are celebrating a victory. They've worked hard. Some of them have worked hard all through the break. They've worked hard through the race to make sure their team succeed. Even if their team is coming 10th, some of them you see them jumping. They need to celebrate now. If they fall down and break their leg and die, their fall is not your fall now, I beg. I don't understand why Formula One should just jump into that. I think Formula One should have done something like, okay, you guys can celebrate, but please don't jump on the fence or on the barbed wires so that you don't fall or you don't die. Or Formula One could have done something like, okay, we'll build the fence more stronger or make another fence for you guys. Abi, why tell them not to jump on fence? In football, you see footballers, they will celebrate. Some of them will even kill themselves. That is it now. You see in basketball, they celebrate. Some of them will even kill themselves. Other sports, the celebration is whoa crazy. You guys should just think about it. This is a sport that we love. This is the most expensive. I can tell you that's the most expensive sport in the world. Damn. Well, my name is Ashwes Oluwadamilare. Welcome to Exxon F1, also known as Formula One Column Africa. Since I read the news, it's been sad because I think they are killing the sport. Some years back, they said drivers should remove all their. That was last year. From 2 years ago, they've been clamping down on jewelry. These guys are married. Some of them are married. They need to show the world that they are married. They need to wear their ring. If they're not wearing their ring, somebody might want to steal them now. Think about it. But is it because Louis has so many chains on him? An African, why would you think it's going to cause a lot of problem for you? If he has chains, jewelries, bling blings all over his hair, even if he pierces his tongue, it's his tongue, it's not your tongue. And they are driving a car, except the wires are not well put. That is when we can fear electrocution. If the wires are not well tucked in, and that in Formula One is well taken care of, so we don't see any issue of electrocution. And moreover, they are wearing gloves, they are wearing helmets, they are wearing nice, well-made Puma shoes. Should I call them sneakers? No, they're shoes. Why would there be fear for electrocution? Guys, think. They are wearing nice Puma shoes, nice gloves. Their body is not really exposed to these things. Formula One, please, let's make these sports more beautiful. It should be in lawn tennis. Andrei Rublev should stop wearing chains. Sasha Zverev should stop wearing chains. It is their choice. People want to be identified with some things. They want people to know them. You guys should just, I beg. Well, the Australian Grand Prix is here and the practice is about to start. This podcast will surely continue after the practice, But the major thing is, it's so funny that George Russell is coming up telling him that it was Fernando Alonso that even told him that he has lost his third place. That thing is still confusing. The solution that FIA Formula One brought is still confusing because I still think about it. Yoruba will say, hold on. These guys are complaining that the box in which you have set for them to place their car, it's not that it's too small, it's not that it's too big, but sometimes because of the column of the box, they might place their car outside or around the box just to be on the same line. They are not gaining advantage. FIA decided to expand the box on each side 10 centimeters. Wait, hey, so if you increase it by 10 centimeters and there are no rubbers there for the driver to drive over, how do you think these guys will still feel? I think it is just a rule of make sure you are still in that line. Why is Formula One making everything difficult? Even if you want to make things difficult, these are not things you should make difficult. It's not that there is so much respect or there is so much discipline. Why? Wow, I don't want to say too much. But be that as it may, the practice is going down 2 a.m. and we'll be watching it live to give you the analysis. And let's see what other teams are bringing to the table to challenge the Red Bull Racing. We would know after the race. Yeah? So we'll catch after the race. If you're a builder, if you're an art collector, if you have a showroom, Rated is the best place to get the artworks you need for your new buildings, for your art collections, for your showroom, for your exhibition. Rated Art have one of the best murals, mosaic works, and different art patterns in Nigeria presently. And it's somebody that you can communicate with, talks to you, you tell him what you want, and he will bring the reality out for you. To contact Rated Art, his number is right up here. And you can also go on social media links that are pasted right up here. So check out some of his works. Thank you. Teams Gadget is for those of you that cannot easily go to the market to get your phones, your laptops, your accessories. Place a call through. His phone number is there. It gets you the best. It's your shop plug to get you the best phones, accessories, laptops, games, and other accessories for your computer gaming experience. Contact Teams Gadget and you get them for you. So now FP1 is there and we left it behind. But come to think of it, Mercedes didn't bring any update. Ferrari didn't bring any update. Trying to understand what they are thinking, because Mercedes is telling us right from Bahrain that in 6 to 7 races we see them doing better. But no updates to keep grinding, to keep checking. Yeah, we know Albert Park in Melbourne has so many low speed corners and they are rather good on low speed corners, but no update. Well, maybe they are not overthinking. Maybe they are looking at what they have, get better with what they have. I'm still thinking. And for Ferrari, no update. Well, maybe they are thinking like Mercedes. They don't want to shock anybody. But Lewis Hamilton dropped the bomb. He said it would take them a year, I said it, to get this thing done. Meanwhile, George Russell confirmed what I said. Said they are more than 1 second behind, So, come to think of it, Red Bull brought up upgrade. They've changed their front wings to Albert Park, though they believe that they are fast on the straight, but they need to blend it up on the slow corners, especially on the curb. Maybe that was why they brought. So Red Bull are thinking they need to go faster. And remember, like I said in the last podcast, that Red Bull has never won on the Australian ground. 1, 2. This is the second time in which Australia is not opening the race of the year. Now Red Bull are pushing to win for the first time in Albert Park. So they are trying to do everything because Verstappen is really pushing that team. And moreover, if you remember what I said after the Saudi Arabia Grand Prix, Perez is coming out to say, oh, Red Bull, they are trying to give him free hand, he can win the championship. They are trying to give him free hand so that he can win the championship. When there is someone like Verstappen and his family there trying to also win the championship. I don't know how Cristiano is going to handle this, but I'm sure this is going to give him a hard work. Because I believe at this time, Checo Perez has done his job. This is his last year of contract. They should think about what they do. But, well, that is not my concern. But the major thing is the next 2 races will decide what Red Bull will do. Is either they give the driver ahead the chance to win, or decide on maybe Checo should win. But in the FP1 yesterday, Checo really drove his heart out. As we all know, Red Bull are still the one leading the way. In the FP1, they didn't disappoint. They were in the garage for like 10 minutes. Immediately they came out. They checked out all the times, purple sectors, and they came like 7:10 up everybody. The second lap, 1 second up on everybody. That was it. But the Mercedes crawled back towards the end because Lewis Hamilton splitting the 2 Red Bulls, and it was like 4:10 behind Verstappen. But 4:10, maybe they are getting something right. Maybe the wings that Red Bull brought, they don't understand it yet. It's not really going to show. But the FP1, the FP2, what the race is all about, I believe. In the FP3, in the early hours of tomorrow morning, and the qualifying, we really know where everyone is, But there were red flag. The red flag was as a result of the GPS that was not functioning in Australia, but they were able to fix it. The cars were back on track. Then Logan Sargent had his own issue. Then the second red flag, they all went back to the pit, and that was the end of FP1 session. But during the FP1 session, one of the things we noticed was there are lots of traffic in the Albert Park. Though that was due to the GPS not working, the team cannot communicate with their drivers, but there was still real traffic, and there were lots of oversteer, drivers jumping cab, turning their Formula 1 cars to lawnmower, the track for the keepers of Albert Track, just giving them nice grass cut all over the place. And it was funny, when the FP2 came, Alonso topped the time chart. Though in FP1, Verstappen topped the time charts with a soft tire. He was doing 1 minute 18 seconds 7:10, and Lewis Hamilton was 4 tenths behind him. Sergio Perez 5 tenths behind him, and Alonso 5 tenths behind him. Then the others 9 tenths behind him, and it was funny. But Alonso could come up with 1 minute 18 seconds and 8 tenths on medium tires. It shows the Aston Martin are really pushing into the game. They are really telling everybody they are in this game not to joke. And coming behind him was Charles Leclerc, which shows the Ferrari 2 are trying to get their setup. I think when these guys are getting their setup, it will be much more closer. And if you see the flaw of the Aston Martin and the flaw of the Red Bull, they are quite similar, only little differences we can see to show that the setup is underneath. Quite well, we know it will be a very, very good race, but in the second practice, there was traffic on the track. Real traffic. The GPS was working, but real traffic this time, unlike the first traffic, and they could not really deal with the traffic because that has been the major challenges. I won't call it a problem, but one of the major challenges that Albert Track give or bring to the table for the driver to face, because there is no race on Albert Track that there will be possibly red flags, but there are going to be yellow flags and there are going to safety cars on Albert Track, which is 100%. Every year we race on Albert track. So in the middle of the practice, it was drizzling. There are lots of skidding up and down. The drivers were showing their drifting skills, and to cut it short, Alonso came up top in the free practice too with Charles Leclerc and Verstappen, all the three on medium tires, how they can challenge. And George Russell on hard tires was about 7/10 behind them. That has not shown the true pace of the cars. But in FP3, we will be able to see the true pace of the cars and how they will fare in qualifying, which means Sunday is going to be very interesting. From what we're seeing, I don't see the Red Bulls stealing 11, 15 seconds away if they are going to win. Possibly if they are going to win, but it's going to be a tight six-way battle, possibly eight-way battles. It will be a very tight one, and I think qualifying, the difference between the top 10 might be 6/10 or thereabout in the differences. And if you think you know who will win the Australian Grand Prix, let us know in the comment. In the early hours of tomorrow, you'll be having your content on the FP3 and the qualifying. Then we look up to the race. See you then. At Exxon F1, our main aim is to bring you the knowledge of Formula One, educate you, bring you the races, how it goes down, help you to understand it more. On our shorts, you'll be seeing some educational terminologies and words that are used during the race that you might not understand. And our long goal is to bring a Formula One race to Africa, possibly Nigeria, and also to educate people and to help in the knowledge transfer of getting Nigerian into some part of Formula One, the racing, which will take a long time because we need to have good karting category to challenge, to get drivers from the karting categories into the small formulas, the Renault formulas, Formula 4, and other formulas, because before we can get a driver to Formula 1. That might take a long time, but that is our goal. Be the bridge to help people realize their dream in Formula 1. Some people may not even know that is where they are meant to be, but our own main aim is to help them to navigate and realize that goal, and also to help people to grow in the engineering, the other administrative aspect of the game. If possibly a billionaire in Nigeria will want to buy a team in Formula 1 or be one of the sponsors, so that they can see that we have the quality hand that will do it, which will also help in aiding how engineers develop as a nation, because with young people, young graduates or young entrepreneurs, young engineers learning the engineering of Formula 1, the CFD, the fluid dynamic, and all the parts of Formula 1, we'll find ourselves growing in car development, because the cars you see today, most of the technologies are well tested in Formula 1 before they become today's technology. And if you have people there, it will help our technical know-how to build good mechanics, good engineers, and it also promotes the revenue generation for a nation. It's part of our dream to bring karting, to bring this race to Nigeria and to Africa also, and to help a young African to realize his dream, not just in Formula 1, but being an engineer and being part of this world. It will also create a lot of employment for a lot of people, and this will take a lot of people out of the street. That is our main aim. That is why we have this channel. If there's a way you can support, we'd love you to come on board, work with us, and we'd love to work with you. Thank you.